Good morning. Another beautiful day in God's kingdom. Today we're taking a look at something that we find in the book of Matthew, and we're in Matthew chapter 26. And let's read what it says from verse 19. It says, So the disciples did as Jesus had directed them, and they prepared the Passover. When evening had come, he sat down with the 12, and as they were eating, Jesus said, Assuredly I say to you, one of you will betray me. And they were exceedingly sorrowful, and each of them began to say to him, Lord, is it I? Lord, is it I? And Jesus answered and said, He who dipped his hand with me in the dish will betray me. The Son of Man indeed goes just as it is written of him, but woe to that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It would have been good for that man if he had not been born. And then Judas, who was betraying him, answered and said, Rabbi, is it I? And Jesus said to him, You have said it. And as I take a look at this, you wonder to yourself, why were the disciples asking, Lord, is it I? Lord, is it I? Surely they knew that it wasn't them, because the only person who should have been asking, Lord, is it I, should have been Judas, because Judas was the one who had a plan or who had a desire or an intention, to betray Jesus. None of these disciples had that, in their minds, but as I take a look at it, you see, the disciples had come to realize something, that Jesus knew them. Jesus knew their thoughts. Jesus could tell what was going to happen in the future. Jesus could tell what was going to happen, in their destinies. Jesus could tell who they were. Jesus knew them completely and totally. And so they couldn't stand with that assurance, or they couldn't say with their chest. I think that's the expression now. They couldn't say with their chest, I'm not going to betray Jesus, because they had seen Jesus unravel people that were even more confident, everybody, because Jesus knew their thoughts. And so they couldn't stand there and say, oh, it's not going to be me. But rather they came to the Lord, and they came sorrowfully, because they were like, Lord, is it I? Am I the one that's going to betray you? Am I the one that's going to do that awful thing? Am I the one that's going to sell you out? Am I the one that's going to fail, at the point of at the point of testing? Am I the one that's going to fail? Am I the one that's going to drop the ball? And I think that helped them to retain maybe a sense of humility, a sense of vulnerability, where they knew they had to rely on Jesus. And that is important for us as children of God. The Bible says that we should be careful. It says, he that standeth should be careful, or rather, he that thinks he standeth, be careful lest you fall. None of us should walk around with that sense of invincibility without Jesus. That is why God says that even that person that's glorying, he says that person that wants to take any glory, hey, glory in the fact that you know God, because God is your strength. So it's not that you're walking in fear and thinking, I'm going to fail, but you're walking in the reverence and the understanding that, hey, by the grace of God, by the grace of God, I will excel. That is why he says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can do all things because Christ is my backbone. I can do all things because Christ is my strength. Therefore, the same way as well for us as believers, we have that understanding and that knowledge that, hey, I will not drop the ball because Jesus is my advocate. I will not drop the ball because Jesus is my helper. I will not fail. I will not betray Jesus, because the same Jesus will give me the strength. And that is enough for us as believers. God bless you. Have a beautiful day.